boys in our clubhouse getting high. Super fuckers! Everybody wishes we would die. Super fuckers! Here we come like a bomb. Everybody fucking run and hide.
Oh, hey, I'm back. What'd I miss?
Thank God you're back, Joe. I was so scared.
Izzy, what's wrong?
The fetishes.
There was diapers and chickens and eggs. That's all that needs to be said.
They're all dead, Jim.
What the fuck happened?
Shit.
The last podcast was a fucking mess. Although the crazy thing is that it's one of the most viewed podcasts, so it succeeded.
There was doo-doo and eggs everywhere.
It was a disaster.
Viewers say they want more fetishes on the podcast.
Apparently, so like we just gotta piss off the audience, and then that'll somehow make them comment more. Thus, more people would come into the video and see what the hell what's going on.
Oh well, then you picked the right fucking guest for this episode. Let me tell you what.
Boy, we have a guest today, but hey, it's the Pizza Party podcast. I'm Pan Pizza. Who are you people?
Oh, hey, I'm Jim.
He's back.
I'm Nolan.
I'm Izzy.
And we have a guest.
And?
Hi, I'm Chris Kirbopher, or Sheila, whatever you want to call me. It don't matter. It's the internet.
And what is
You can call me whatever you want, baby.
And what is it that you do, Kirbopher?
I do too many things, probably. I do animation, I do writing, I do voice acting. I help people with all of those things occasionally, and I do a lot of it for myself on my channel and other such things as well. And I've been very lucky to be able to make a living generally doing one and or all of those things at once.
Excellent.
For anyone who is not familiar with you, what would you recommend them watching? Or
Oh, sure. For my own personal work, I created a series called Tome, Terrain of Magical Expertise. It's very inspired by a lot of cyberpunk stuff, such as, and not limited to, .hack, Mega Man Battle Network, Reboot, and not Sword Art Online because I've never seen it. It's a 16-episode series that I produced from 2011 to 2015, and I'm very proud of it, and I had a small crew of very wonderful people that helped me out on it. There's a lot of heart in it, and lots of cool special guest stars and fun, heartfelt moments and things. If you want to check that out. I also do Curblogs on my YouTube every other week that are about various subjects. And in the voice acting world, I am probably best known as Dezel from Tales of Zestiria, which is a Bandai Namco RPG game. And I'm also reprising him in the anime adaptation called Tales of Zestiria: The Cross. I'm also Garma Zabi in the Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin OVA series, of which the fourth one of those is coming out very soon. And I was also in another Gundam show, Iron-Blooded Orphans, as Savarin.
Oh.
And other stuff like Pokemon and Alone in the Sea and Disgaea 5 and other shit.
Jesus Christ.
Those
that's
are a bunch
enough.
of things.
You're making us look like
Enough
shit.
already. Shut up! Jesus Christ, we don't care about any of that shit.
Like we haven't done much with our lives, so it's just like you're just bragging about all the animes you're in.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
the most I
sorry.
think was a hentai.
Oh right.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, I have a friend who works on hentai. It's awesome.
But it's not even like an official hentai. It's like a weird fetishy hentai that was done independently. It's like
okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I promised everybody that was not a, oh yeah, my friend. No, I really have never done a hentai before, but I'm hoping someday.
May your dreams come true.
Yeah, make sure they come true. Haha.
My wet dreams come true. Oh man. And we're not. That's our show, everybody. Good night.
But I remember.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody's done. All right. All right. We'll meet you guys next week. That was a great podcast.
Yeah. And strong.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Favorite, share, buy a t-shirt.
Next video, I'm not sure what it is, but hopefully I get it done soon, because right now, as we record this, the Danny Phantom video should be up Tuesday, hopefully, because I haven't finished it yet. I'm screwed. I'm behind, because Loki IRL, my webcomic, is out, everyone. Issue 2.
Yay!
It's actually,
Check it out.
it actually looks a lot better than the shitty first one, because the first one had zero background and was just oversaturated.
Oh, dude, that sounds like how shitty my original version of Tome from like Newgrounds 2004 was. So much respect to reinventing it for the new age.
I like the texture in the background you put on there, by the way, Pan.
Oh, right. The I just get like a paint texture and just overlay it on regular geometric colors. But Tome, I was watching that earlier today, and I was like, I really like the style of it, just basically simulating a RPG video game. And of course, the music, like I can tell it was Like the music's original, right?
Oh yeah, it's all composed by the very fantastic Weston Durant, also known as Kajeto-kun, also known as the guy who created the original "It's Over 9,000" meme video that took the fucking world by storm.
Oh,
If you ever
We've also
start a
had
company, can it be called AKA?
AKA Aka.
Because
let's
so
get
far
in
everyone has AKAs on those projects.
Kadja did a lot of the main composition. We also had Living Tombstone do a lot of stuff. Stephen Kelly did a lot of the orchestral songs. We had some guests like Ivy Tran from Steven Universe do a guest track as well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of really amazing music, all incredibly talented folks I'm very happy to have worked with and still work with to this day.
yeah, the music does a good job simulating like that Final Fantasy 16-bit themes.
I love chiptunes, and particularly I love Super Nintendo era and a little bit of Sega Genesis, depending on the person who made use of the blaring ass sound chip better.
All the synth music on the Genesis.
Yeah. The animation, the design of having it look like sprites and stuff was more so that I could produce an episode in not 30 years and have them come out in a fair amount of time. So it only took me 4 solid years to produce 16 TV show length episodes, which I think for a crew of about 10 people or so is pretty okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good since... I mean, you are simulating like how RPGs do it with like the text box on the bottom, but there's still the character profile there talking to each other.
Yeah, although I tried to push a little bit further with it as we continued, because I was actually worried early on that like, oh my God, am I going to improve much as an artist if I keep it looking like this forever? But as it went on, there were a lot more opportunities for me to kind of push for the animation. And actually, there's a short that I just finished that's going to be coming out in November, in about a month or so from now. That is for the 5-year anniversary of the show. And for that, because it's a short little 2-minute sort of thing, I really tried to push the envelope on the animation quality and do something like better than I had ever done before. And I'm very happy with how that turned out. So yeah. But enough about me and my shite. What about you all? What do you think of me and my
Well, I think the earliest memory I have of your work is for a long time ago, Brawl Taunts, the Flash video.
Well, that's my cue to leave. See you later, everybody.
Being young has never been this refreshing. I wonder what kind of joys await me in the world of Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Ha!
Show me your boobs!
Sorry, you're gonna need more than a Falcon Punch if you want to get some of this.
I'm too cheap. Sonic is not cheap. Sonic's just fast.
Dude, isn't he the reason they banned Smash Balls at our tournament?
Are you ashamed of it?
Mildly. I mean, you know, it was a stage in my and Kira Buckland, the creator of Brawl Taunts, in our lives. She's been a friend of mine for over 10 years now, which is crazy to think about. And we're actually both in Tales of Zestiria together, which is really cool. And she was in Tome as well. She's been a lot of stuff I've worked on. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not proud of it, certainly. But, you know, when I meet people who like, oh, I enjoyed it. No, it made me laugh back in the day. It's like, I appreciate that. You know, it's just, I didn't create it and I didn't put any effort into the animation. And I also did it on bad reasons, more or less.
Oh.
So, you know, but you know what? I mean, honestly, a lot of the stuff that I did back then, I did Parody Rangers and the Nintendo collabs with a lot of friends and stuff. And they were all learning experiences. You know, I don't regret any of my time on NewGrounds back then, because it prepared me, I think, a lot for once I finished college and started doing stuff like Tome and you know, kind of moved forward and et cetera. So,
yeah.
you know.
Newgrounds used to be a beautiful thing. I mean, I have no regrets I posted a lot on Newgrounds, and it was wonderful because I literally would. I mean, when were you on posting stuff on Newgrounds?
I would say from about 2004 to like 2011 or 12. I posted the first season worth of Tome up on there for the most part, and then I kind of shifted over to YouTube. But the thing is, like, yeah, Newgrounds, a lot of people still to this day give a little bit of unnecessary shit to Newgrounds. But the thing is, first of all, the people that run it, Tom Fulp and his crew, are all wonderful people who are incredibly supportive of up-and-coming creators. And, you know, a lot of really talented animators who, you know, are very well known now on YouTube in particular, came from there. They got their start on that site. And
it was great back then because you could I remember posting something and an hour or two later, thousands of people would have watched it just because it was there and there was no YouTube. I think YouTube kind of ended that site because I literally would upload something when I was in college. I would upload a Cletus the Fetus cartoon, go to class, come back, and a couple thousand people had watched it. And there's like no way you could do that today without having a subscriber base. Like just because you were there and it was halfway decent, you would do okay, which is like kind of, it's hard to explain to people what early internet was like, but people are like, there's a video? Oh my God, I'll watch it. And it was like, now if you go, I put a video on the internet, they'd be like, go fuck yourself. I don't care.
A video that
granted on Newgrounds, they would tell you to go fuck yourself also in the reviews, but
that's true. I mean, I was more familiar with it. I probably stopped in 07 or something. So my memories of it are more pre-YouTube. But I just remember how amazing that used to be, or if like you would happen to get a link on E-Bombs World or something, like how it would just like, there were these things where you could literally like just explode just for being there. And like that just that like went away in like 2010 or something like that.
Well, because I always used to describe Newgrounds as freedom for all people creatively because it was a portal for animation, for games, for music, for art, for everything. Here's the thing, most people associate it for, first and foremost, the cartoons that were on there, and I would say secondarily a lot of the Flash games that were on there too. But it was it really was just this amazing portal for anybody to put whatever they wanted anywhere, and they didn't have to go through any kind of filter. And actually, if anything, the filtering system, if it was really bad and it would get blammed, was kind of interesting too, because that wasn't like something that really came into play anywhere else. So there was just nothing else like Newgrounds at the time.
No, there really wasn't.
And I don't know. I think it really deserves its spot as like kind of a landmark in animation and entertainment history in a way. Even if in anything in a small way, like still nonetheless, like it.
It's kind of the thing with the internet that people kind of don't get, or like how they stereotype, like even Tumblr or Twitter or Vine or anything, is that these are like a la carte services. So acting like an a la carte service is like just this one experience is a completely flawed idea, because like Newgrounds wasn't just, those like fruit clock things they have, or stick figure fights, or there are like so many different things on there. But like I've talked to other people who were on Newgrounds the same time I was, and they like had a totally different experience. And I think it's like weird when people try to put those things in boxes, because it's like by default they can't be, because they're too wide open. There's so much content on there. I mean, it's like when people say YouTube's just this one thing. It's not. There's like a lot of shit on there,
Yeah, I think a lot of the unfair perception of Newgrounds that came from exactly what you're talking about. I think because like obviously in the early days, for those of you who don't know, Newgrounds was barely supported. It had that's the reason why it had to have a lot of like porn ads and like for like adult like hentai games and shit like that, because nobody would host it and they had to get money sources from stuff like that. And and that wasn't something that they were like reveling in or proud of. It was just kind of like the Wild West of internet content. And eventually when they got to a point of being able to sustain themselves very, very well, it became a lot more widespread. But either way, like it had this general kind of reputation for like really raunchy adult, like no holds barred kind of shit. Because that was the stuff that was usually getting the most amount of attention on the front page, and that's what people were coming there for, and etc. But there were so many different kinds of things, and I think the other problem is and this is the result of just the influence of everybody, and I include myself in this too. A lot of us were all kind of making the same kind of stuff for a while, because like, I mean, that's why that changed.
That's why Homestar blew up, because there was no profanity in it. There was no, everyone was doing the kind of gross out, kind of more like, I can't believe I can say this on anywhere kind of thing. And then that's why Homestar was like such a hit, because nobody was really trying to do that. Or if they were on Newgrounds, I didn't see it,
I actually still remember seeing Homestar Runner before I got introduced to Newgrounds. And that was kind of my first. Well, actually, no, I'd seen like some of the Joe cartoon, like the Frog in the Blender, that kind of stuff. But Homestar Runner was my first real like introduction to like a Flash cartoon show, more or less. And then when I found Newgrounds, the really early guys and it's funny because now I've gotten to be friends with a lot of them and I've worked with them. Guys like Legendary Frog, Richie Zerbs, John Zerbs, the Super Flash brothers who are making lots of really awesome games these days. Guys like that. And then obviously came in, the advent of like the Awesome series, and a lot of people were doing stuff like that for a while. And then things just shifted so much. And then like more people, then like Happy Harry showed up, and Chris O'Neill and Zach Haddle, and those kind of guys. And it was really interesting kind of seeing like how things had shifted so much. And like I was in college when I was doing most of the stuff that I became known for on the site. And I was producing a lot of my own work while I was going to school, and having obviously putting schoolwork first and foremost. But I always wanted to stay productive. I always wanted to be creating, and I was meeting so many other really talented folks and nice guys that some of which I still know and work with today. And then eventually when I finished college, I all the experiences that I took away from my time on Newgrounds, and actually even I'll say this too. When I started doing Tome, which was my first step into like, this is really the type of stuff that I want to make. I want to make my own original cartoons with my own characters that I built from the ground up. And Tom Fault was so incredibly supportive. And, the Newgrounds actually sponsored the first 4 episodes of the series when we were doing them. And so he kind of gave me my start on that as well. And he sponsored us for like some of the Nintendo collabs and Parody Rangers and all that as well, which was very kind of him. And having a budget, like, small as it was, but a budget to split between everybody and, go through all that. And I don't know. And it was just a nice kind of like way to get, started and learn a lot about what it is to produce a show and to work with others and to, distribute and get things out on a constant basis. And it was really, really beneficial. Like, even though like the community could be a little, aggressive at times and not everybody was always very nice 100% of the time, I feel like overall what I took away from my time on there was really positive, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think the appeal of Newgrounds back then is like TV wasn't as uncensored as it was now, because like people could just post whatever and just say whatever they want, and there was all these weird random cartoons, and I feel like that's also what helped Invader Zim get popular, is that
well, they were very out there, certainly.
Yeah.
What was kind of cool is I remember actually in the midst of my time on Newgrounds, I went to Comic-Con in San Diego 2 times in 2008 and 2009, and this was around the time where there was Cartoon Network in particular was having this sort of renaissance where they were having shows that would be kind of on the cusp of not quite Adult Swim, but pushing the envelope. This was right around when Flapjack and Chowder had just started, and this is right when Adventure Time and Regular Show had been picked up. And also, funny story, Rebecca Sugar, the creator of Steven Universe, graduated 2 years ahead of me at School of Visual Arts. Learned a lot from her. She was actually very cool. A lot of the stuff that she had sat down and told me about was very, very useful. So I owe her a lot. And she was beginning to work on Adventure Time. And then I remember the early days of when the Steven Universe pilot got picked up. And, it's incredible to see how far that's progressed, that show. And it was really exciting to me because, obviously Adult Swim and a lot of the anime stuff and some of the adult cartoons had, hit a big stride around early 2000s and stuff. But seeing this kind of halfway point of like, hey, like it's still on the daytime hours of Cartoon Network, but we can, go a little bit more mature with the subject matter, stuff like that, which was really cool. And I think that like, as a creator too, that was really exciting for me because to see a much wider variety of content, and then of course Nickelodeon had, Legend of Korra, which was pushing the envelope a lot. And, and then eventually Ninja Turtles, I think, did so a fair amount, and the Gravity Falls on Disney XD and stuff like that, and watching that kind of era unfold into what we have now, where a lot of the kids shows are kind of blurring the line a little bit more in terms of the maturity and the trust they're sort of putting with like, hey, it's okay for these shows to kind of go a little bit more beyond the scope of, Y7 or, whatever kind of ratings, et cetera. And I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy to see such a major much like how there was a variety in the content that was on the internet. Now I think there's a much bigger variety in animated content that there is on TV and in theaters and on Netflix and stuff like that too. And it's really cool to see that.
Like, I was following Craig McCracken, creator of Powerpuff Girls blog, and he was talking about how in the early days of Cartoon Network, pre-Adult Swim, shows made on Cartoon Network like Powerpuff Girls and Dexter, they said the intent was to attract, like, kids, but also 20-year-olds, and Craig McCracken compared their mindsets to what Adult Swim was pre-Adult Swim, like, that it was until Adult Swim came around, and I feel like around, like, 2004 and 5, like, Cartoon Network began to... I don't know, the quality of cartoons just lowered with stuff like Squirrel Boy and Puppy Amiyumi. They weren't that great.
Well, they also, that was the whole Cartoon Network vibe, was half Stoner Channel, half for the kids. Because if you look at those interstitials with the hip hop music and characters running around, like that's as much for 20-year-olds as it is.
Yeah, because like yesterday I was just looking at these bumpers and like they had like Will.i.am and I think Outkast.
Will.i.am with the Dexter's Lab music video.
And Coolio.
That's right.
Yeah.
There goes Dexter, and there goes his sister Dee Dee. Oh boy, wonder what they're gonna get into today. Uh-oh, back to the lab again. Oh no, back to the lab again. We messed up, back to the lab again. Uh-oh, Dexter's in the lab again, making up anything he's imagining. There goes Dee Dee, his sister, he always argues with her. She thinks she knows it all because she's older and she's bigger. Whatever Dexter wants, he just goes and creates. Robots, it doesn't matter the size or the shape. He's always doing crazy tests and making a mess. And if they don't come out correct, well, you know what happens next. Uh-oh.
Back in the lab again.
Yes.
Oh no.
I totally forgot. Wow. Oh, something reminded me of that song like kind of recently. Oh, that's so bizarre. Well, it's funny because you think about it in the really early days of Cartoon Network, it was just like all the Hanna-Barbera stuff being rerun, and the guy from Turner was just like, yeah, I want to bring cartoons back and blah blah blah, etc. And that was kind of how it began. And then the early cartoon series were through Hanna-Barbera, and even Seth MacFarlane's starting on like Johnny Bravo and Craig McCracken and Genndy Tartakovsky, guys like that were starting on other shows as well. And now they're like these massive names in the industry. It's just, I don't know. It's really interesting. Just that even that channel by itself, in terms of just animated content, it's because that's all their focus more or less.
Mm-hmm. Going back to what Pam was saying, I think that reflects the times though, because like Powerpuff Girls was originally going to air as Whoop-Ass Girls, if I'm not wrong.
Well,
like,
that was the college short name.
No, it was the college short. But like I remember watching the documentary and like it was going to be Whoop-Ass Girls up until advertisers was like, we don't feel comfortable with that, and then that title changed.
Yeah, well, there was more of a thing then that they thought Generation X would generate more money for them, but then they realized that because the millennials were a bigger generation group, I'm sure they went, oh wait, there's actually more money in appealing to these kids because Generation X was like relatively small. So I think like they were going after that because they were the buying power at the time. But like 94, most millennials are younger. They don't have disposable income. So they're appealing to the people who did. But clearly why that got steamrolled over was basically because like the amount of 15-year-olds with disposable income was, or around that age, was more than Generation X, because that's the baby bust. And there aren't that many kids. So that's why like there's such a dramatic shift. It's more of just numbers,
Because before it was like Cartoon Network was a channel dedicated to cartoons, while Tech TV was a channel dedicated to tech, and then MTV was also about music. And then like you said, they switched to who they were target demographic for, and then the shows became less about we're making a cartoon for Cartoon Network, we're making a kids cartoon for
because there was a shift where it was they stopped doing just reruns and it became all original Cartoon Network content. And then because I remember staying home from school and watching Hanna-Barbera the whole time, and it was like a different show every half hour, and then became like, let's play, now it's like, let's play 2 hours of Adventure Time and 4 hours of Teen Titans Go. So it's like
that's not true, because they don't play Adventure Time anymore.
Oh, they don't?
They barely play it.
It's ending in 2018.
Oh yeah,
so
news! We have news!
That's right. Well, way to drop that bomb, everybody.
Let's get into the news. Okay, news.
This is CNN.
Adventure Time is ending on 2018. There's, I think, one more season or 2 more seasons left, and it's over.
There are 140 half hours left of Adventure Time.
It's amazing.
No, only 140.
Are you sure it's not like 15 minutes or,
That's the article I found. It said 140 half hours.
It's on the internet. It must be true.
Well, so
I think it came from a good source, but let me go.
Nolan, I also read an article saying Steven Universe is canceled in season 4 because they went on hiatus.
That's not true.
Oh my
that
God.
one has to be true.
That's like the last show they haven't canceled.
Steven Universe is still going on. Don't scare the audience.
Yeah. No. It's still got
okay, everybody. Babies, calm down. It's
Don't
okay.
worry.
I'm not saying they're going to, but it just Gumball's not technically canceled. But.
Yeah, here's the article. I was wrong. It's actually 142 half hours.
Wow.
Of content.
My God, those extra 2. Swear to God.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's over. All the 2010 cartoons. Like, when I first started making reviews, like, these were the first cartoons I reviewed. Like, Adventure Time, Regular Show, Gumball.
Yeah. Well, Gumball, it's just the creators leaving. The show hasn't officially been canceled.
Are you sure it's not ending at all?
I looked into it because someone told me it's not canceled. And I go, no, you're wrong. And I Googled it and I couldn't find an article that said Gumball is canceled. It just, if you look at his tweets, the creator, it just, you can easily think that from it. But he then says, like, the show's not over. I'm just leaving.
Oh,
so
okay.
Gumball, it's just, he phrased it in a very poor way. It was like, what was that Amy Schumer thing that happened as well, where she phrased it in a way that made it sound like her show's over. She was like, no, we're just not filming it right now. And you're like, why didn't you? Okay. It's like people need to phrase
it happens.
It happens. But Gumball's, I mean, I worry about it if the creator's not going to be there, but maybe that'll work out. I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry,
Well,
Jim.
I will say on the note of Adventure Time, though, I'm actually in a most positive way possible. I'm actually very glad that it and a regular show are ending, because I can imagine that they're going to have endings to their stories, which I think is really exciting, because that's another thing, kind of going back earlier about how things have changed. When cartoons would end, most of the time they wouldn't even be allowed to do that on the 99.999% off chance that they would ever bring it back, which never happens.
Yeah.
But I get from a business perspective, like, why it's like, oh no, we don't want to risk like just having it be like it's over forever. But the fact that, like, I think that there's been a vision with that from these creator driven shows in particular, and there's like a beginning, a middle, and end that to appreciate, because there's something about that I think is that kids themselves can find a lot of satisfaction with, as opposed to just it going on for a billion seasons and never having any kind of like, this is it, and then they move on to something else.
Well, it's also good because Adventure Time has totally run its course at this point.
Yeah.
Like, that show needs to, like, regular show I'm sad about, and if Gumball is ending, I'd be sad about that. But Adventure Time, like, that show is like, I'm so done with that show at this point. And I think a lot of people are. That show, like, I know everyone's real sad about it, and I saw the tweets from people who worked on it, and like, that's cool. Like, and in its time, it was really good. But we're like 2 to 3 seasons past it being a good show, like a show that I'm really excited about. And it's like, I'm kind of like fine to put that out to pasture,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll admit I haven't kept up with Adventure Time for a few years now. I am absolutely interested to see in fact, if anything, what I'm expecting is there to be, maybe they might like do the movie type thing where they'll have like a bunch of episodes all like, kind of combined together into a big finale or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see how that story and how that world is going to get wrapped up.
I also noticed that movie announcement. There was nothing in when it telling when they talked about how it's ending, there was nothing about the movie.
Yeah.
Which makes me think it's going to be like the Phineas and Ferb movie where they make a press release, they make a big deal about it, and then it never comes out or ever happens.
Yeah, because years ago they announced the Phineas and Ferb, I think a theatrical movie and also a Ben 10 movie, and we've heard nothing from those things.
Well, the Phineas and Ferb movie was supposed to come out the same weekend as the second Wolverine movie.
Gee whiz.
So,
but now we have a spin-off with Weird Al Yankovic.
Yay.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think that's probably a better thing because the TV movie they did of Phineas and Ferb was pretty lousy. Other than there's like one joke that kills me, but other than that, it wasn't very good.
Phineas and
Have you
Ferb.
guys seen the previews for the new Phineas and Ferb spinoff?
I don't think it's a spin-off, but it's made by the same people, Milo Murphy.
Yeah, I think it is its own thing.
When does it start? I'm curious about that.
Pretty soon, right?
I think it aired something already.
Oh, maybe it was this weekend.
I just want to say, Phineas and Ferb across the second dimension, more like penis and perv get a second erection.
You've done it.
Yes.
You've done it.
Yes.
You've done it.
Back to form.
Here's your fucking copper star.
Oh,
Dink.
boy.
There you go.
Yes.
Anyway, what the hell? Yeah. But yeah, both Adventure Time and regular show, I think, totally deserve like endings, and I'm very, very interested to see. And also, not only that, I'm interested to see what Pem Ward and JG Quintel do next, because I'm sure that they have plans for pushing to the next level of their own abilities, and you know, whether it's through doing another show or something else entirely. I'm very curious to see what they have in store after that.
Going to another network, even if they want.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows?
Not that I know anything, but I'm just saying.
Oh, do you know anything?
No, I don't know anything.
Damn.
But the
I mean, that's possible. It certainly happened before. So
no, I don't know what's gonna happen with Cartoon Network. I am a little worried because Mighty Magiswords doesn't give me a lot of hope. So I'm kind of like.
I found it funny.
I mean, it's nothing like I think they need like a big. A new show that I could get obsessed with again, and it's been a few years.
Their two biggest shows right now is Teen Titans Go and Steven Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need more. I don't know.
I will say, I think it's okay for me to tease enough of this. I actually have been working on a new Cartoon Network series.
What the fuck?
That I'm going to be going in to do some more stuff on Wednesday. And fuck? I really like it a lot. I actually think it's really cute, and I really hope that people enjoy it. And I've got some hopes for it.
Is this the Johnny Bravo reboot with?
Oh, dude, you got me,
Johnny
man.
Bravo?
Shit.
I'm voicing Johnny Bravo. You've got it out of me.
Wait, I thought The Rock was voicing Johnny Bravo.
Well, you didn't know that we are in fact one and the same. Yes, you heard it here first, folks. Exclusively, Chris Niosi and Dwayne Johnson are the same entity.
I don't think you are. I can't smell what you're cooking at all.
Well, that's because you're states away. But I mean, I gotta put a little more salt and pepper in there.
If you were The Rock, I can always smell what The Rock's cooking, and he's cooking jerk chicken right now, and I don't smell jerk chicken.
I've been fucking found out, man.
Can you get me Kevin Hart's autograph?
You're being a jabroni right now.
Oh my god. No, that's actually Red Magnus from Disgaea 5 would call me a jabroni as well if you were here. So I mean
the Rock.
That.
I know The Rock, and he's a fine, upstanding gentleman. You know, he's a little too fast and a little too furious. but you know.
Where did we go?
Okay. The thing I wanted to ask was because apparently you mentioned before you have like a whole spectrum of things you do. So when you say you're working on something for Cartoon Network, is that animation, art, or voice?
I'm actually going to make it a surprise.
Okay, you can't say anything.
Boy.
I can. I actually, no, that's the thing. I actually am allowed to talk about it, but I actually want to keep it a surprise until next year.
Damn it.
Next year?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Next year, that's when I won't care about things.
Oh, well.
Well, we'll see.
Then I suppose you're not part of the target demographic here at...
It's funny because the guy who's working on the Ben 10 reboot said the exact same thing about me.
Oh my god. Wait, did you have him on as a guest?
No, we're not that cool.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I was gonna say, man, if you said that, I would appreciate the honesty, honestly.
He emailed me, he emailed Pan saying that he liked the podcast, but also that my hate for the Ben 10 reboot fuels him while he works on it.
It's not the creator, it's someone.
It's someone who works on it. So, I promptly and professionally told him to go fuck himself.
Oh, did you actually do that?
No.
Oh, I would hope not.
You just did on this podcast, so I guess publicly you did.
Welcome to the Let's Make Fun of Every Show on TV and Everybody Who Works on Them podcast. On today's episode,
that was a couple episodes ago. That's not this.
Yeah, we've done that. We've done that a lot of times. We're running out of shows to make fun of.
Yeah,
we bazinged everybody.
If you could have gave it a
I know.
You should check out Tome so you can make fun of that show too.
Yeah.
By the way, you didn't mention it, but I worked on Tome for an episode.
That's right. Izzy was very kind, and you helped with a lot of lip sync animation in the later episods, I think, didn't you?
I think it was just one episode, but it was some lip syncing here and there. Yeah.
Yes, I very much appreciated you and my other friend Andy Draper were very kind to help me out because, my God, it saves so much time when I don't have to draw the same fucking mouth shapes over and over.
Other news.
What else is news?
Okay, first off, I just want to say that I'm hoping maybe that one day that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Johnny Bravo movie does happen. Like, they've been talking about that. Well, that was announced or hinted at years ago, like when the show was still running. But I think it could still work today.
I mean, he's involved in so many projects. Like, it's literally any podcast they listen to about movie news has it be a joke where they say, is there any Rock news this week? Because he's like, it's not an exaggeration. Like, literally, he's in so many projects. He has the Jumanji sequel. They don't know when they're going to make G.I. Joe 3 because his schedule is so hectic that they can't, because they want G.I. Joe to connect to Transformers and all that.
Oh, God, they're going to do that.
Well, I mean, it was in the comic, but anyway, so like he's so involved in so many things from like Fast and Furious 8 to Jumanji, and I think there's like other projects that I think it could happen, and I'm sure it's like on his long ass list of projects The Rock could plausibly do, but I don't think well, you know what? It's been about 20 years since, so it would probably work nostalgia wise if he did it.
Yeah,
so,
I would accept at least a like short film that was made to look like a trailer for a bigger movie.
Yeah, like how he did with the Bambi parody that he made for, I think, Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, no, that's Izzy. I love that idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
they should do that.
But does anyone remember there was a video game starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson of Spy Hunter? Like, they were going to make a Spy Hunter movie, but they never made the movie. They just made the video game based on the movie that doesn't exist.
Whoa. Wow, that sounds amazing.
It's mostly driving and shooting, but also the on-foot missions are utter garbage. But anyway, next news.
Is it so bad you can play it with a power glove?
This was made in the 2000s. This is a PS2 Xbox game.
I like so bad you can play it with a power glove. You can be like, that would be a great trailer for a movie, but like, she's so bad. You can
play her with a power. Oh God, that sounds gross. Anyway, news. Go ahead, please. Jesus Christ.
Hey, you guys like the Smurfs movies?
No.
I actually liked that trailer a lot. I saw a little bit of it. I was like, oh, this is cute. And looks.
We have to get to the.
We have to guess it. But they're making a new Smurfs movie, and it's going to be fully animated, and it's not going to have any real people this time. And the designs are a lot smoother looking. They don't look wrinkly.
Wait, are you saying they got real Smurfs?
No, it's animated. It's CG.
Wait, animated by Smurfs?
Sure.
Yes.
They work cheap. They can do it.
It's done kind of like the Pop Pie cartoon CG thing, where like they actually look like CG generated versions of the 2D drawings.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. I actually, I keep getting. I still haven't watched this trailer. I keep hearing about it. People keep asking me about it.
Well,
I never.
Let me spoil it for you. It has current rap music and stuff, and it's the Smurfs being in your face.
There's two versions of the same trailer, though, Pan.
What?
The US one has random rap music put on top of it, and then the UK version has just without the same thing, but without the pop culture music on top.
So it's like orchestral?
the Smurfs are a bigger deal in Europe, so they might be like, because I think the Smurfs did a lot better in like Scandinavia and stuff. The other two, because
Really?
Where's the comic from originally? That
It's
based
French.
on? It's
Pretty
French.
sure it's
Okay,
French. Yeah.
so I feel like there's more emphasis on that market, whereas here they're like, I mean, we want it to do well, but I'm sure they care more. Most of their money's coming from Europe with that one, I'd assume.
Oh, that makes sense.
The voice cast is great, though. I'm really excited. Well, for one person,
Who?
Danny Pudi as Brainy. Makes me
Oh
really
yes,
happy.
that's good casting. Who's Smurfette? They didn't get like Katy Perry.
It was a Demi Lovato or some Disney person. I forget they
think that's the
recasted
right
her.
one.
She's no longer Katy Perry. She's someone else.
Who's Papa Smurf? Did they get Patrick Stewart?
Let me look it up.
Yeah, but
They should get or John Goodman.
But since it's going to be all animated, like they don't have to worry about blending it in with like the real world, and they don't have all these wrinkles and pores on their face.
Wait, so they're not going to be in New York City and play Rock Band?
No.
Oh, if that's not happening.
God damn, that was such an awful scene. Like looking at the first Smurfs movie, like half that movie's nothing but product placement. Like it's just them going through like some toy store and just saying, "Hey, look at this cool Nerf gun. Look at this cool Guitar Hero set. Isn't this great?"
Okay. So here's the voice cast: Demi Lovato as Smurfette, Mandy Patinkin as Papa Smurf.
Oh, Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah. The guy who plays Fix-It Felix is Clumsy.
He has a name.
That's cool. Oh, I like that.
That's Wander.
And then Joe Melangio is Hefty Smurf. And then Rainn Wilson is Gargamel.
Oh, I can see that.
Who's Rainn Wilson? I know that name.
He was on The Office. That's Dwight.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yay.
Dwight? Oh, that's awesome.
I love Super.
Oh, God, I need to see that. That's like one of my cinematic oversights.
Yeah, Super, it's basically like, it came out around the same time as the movie Kick-Ass, so people were comparing the two, but this one's a lot more, surprisingly, a lot more violent and a lot more, I guess, realistic.
But isn't it James Gunn who did Guardians, directed it?
Yeah, because he worked in Trauma, and this does somewhat feel like a Trauma film, but I would also compare it to Rick and Morty, because it has that same feeling of both, like, conflicting feelings, like laughter, but also terror at the same time, you know? Where you just feel sad for a character, but also laughing.
That's like my life, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, what studio is doing the Smurfs movie?
Sony Pictures Animation, who did Hotel Transylvania.
Okay.
Same peeps.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean the little trailer I saw, I really liked how like goofy and bouncy the animation was. Like it felt much more like classic Smurfs and not like modern. Whoa, we're trying to appeal to people of the arts or whatever. Like, so I don't know. I'm not a massive Smurfs fan or anything necessarily. Like, this one looks like it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No, my half brother is a Smurfs connoisseur. He has like every fucking Smurfs figure in existence collected, like you wouldn't even imagine. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think it might be fun. It looks cute, so I'm certainly open to it.
I refuse to believe there's more than one Smurfs connoisseur in the frickin' world that collects Smurf stuff.
Other than who?
The Black Nerd?
Andre Black Nerd, yeah.
Oh, huh. How about that? Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
Wait, does he really collect things, or is he? Because now he's just on the TVs when I go to Regal Cinemas.
What the hell?
And he'll go like, hey, Regal movie fans, I'm here to talk to you about a movie you'll forget about in 6 months, and you know.
Yeah.
And he goes thing, and then he'll explain.
Hey man, you gotta pay your fucking bills somehow. Yeah. And plus, also, if he's paying his bills with a gig like that, he probably can collect whatever he wants. So much love to Andre.
Yeah,
I guess.
Oh, Andre's awesome.
I met him at Comic-Con.
I don't. I've heard he's nice. I just don't like any of his stuff.
Fuck you.
Well,
yeah, he's like one of those cartoon characters like Krusty the Clown that just keeps appearing in random places everywhere.
He appeared in my bathroom mirror the other day. It really freaked me out. Sorry.
Well, I heard if you turn off the lights, you stare at the mirror, you say chain chomp a couple of times, he appears.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, in his defense, I did do that 3 times. You know, I've had Beetlejuice problems before, but I have a good exterminator, so.
What the fuck, dude?
Beetlegeist, you mean? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Do you remember that Community joke where they say, over the course of a couple episodes, they say Beetlejuice, and then he walks by the back? That's so funny. Anyway.
Okay, to clarify here, in the first 3 seasons of Community, they say Beetlejuice once. Each season. And then season 3's Halloween episode, they mentioned something about the Beetlejuice play, the soundtrack, and it's Halloween. So behind them in the window, a guy dressed as Beetlejuice walks by.
It's like the most longest, it's just pointless background gag ever that they set up for 3 seasons just for that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like somebody timed it just so like, okay, how many times has Beetlejuice said in this episode? Once. Perfect.
I mean, Community and Dan Harmon fans, I believe it. I believe that. I believe like when that happened, there was one of them go, "Oh my god, I know what they did."
I think what happened was in the Halloween episode, someone mentions like, I think we mentioned Beetlejuice twice. Like they were reading through the script. I was like, I think we've said it like 3 times. We should do something about that. And so they just got extra dressed up as Beetlejuice.
Oh, so it wasn't even planned.
I really hope in Dragon Ball Super there's like a special 5-episode arc. Sorry, I had to count in my head. Where one of the characters that can do a Kamehameha says each of the individual syllables in one of them in an episode, and then in the 5th and final episode of the arc they just say ha, and it just like destroys all of existence without how big the Kamehameha is. I want that. That's my equivalent of the Beetlejuice gag in Community.
That reminds me, like in The Simpsons, like people say that if you cut all the Rainier Wolfcastle movies together, the clips from those action movies that The Simpsons watch, it forms one coherent film somehow.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I could totally see that.
I've heard that. I think I watched it or something.
That's cool. Like that.
Yeah, somewhat coherent. But you guys want to get into the questions?
Oh no! Yes.
This is going fast. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Because we already recorded 47 minutes, which is we're doing good.
Not a dragon of the rolling credits.
So questions. If anybody has a question, be sure to start out with the word question so it's easier to find, and post your questions in the YouTube comments of this YouTube video. So our first question comes from the Saucy Pickle. Question: do you feel like the stigma around animation is starting to disappear?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, very, very slowly, but I think it's on the way.
Yeah, slowly, but stuff like Adult Swim and Sausage Party.
I think Sausage Party and Nerdland just signed a deal with Samuel Goldwyn, and there's just been a lot more, or like even The Killing Joke making $3 million in one night at the Fathom Events thing shows that like audiences are more ready for it. But I haven't read Warner's picked up another adult animation cartoon, or like there's nothing else on the horizon, but it feels a lot better than it did a year. I mean, how much Sausage Party made? Like 100, right?
It did a good amount. Like I know it made its budget back.
Or like just the fact that like we were talking about it earlier, that there were normal people in that theater. There weren't just animation fans. I think that says it all. Sorry, Izzy, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I wouldn't even just say exclusively cartoons, but if you jump towards the comic book movie, you have Deadpool, which is R-rated. I think also helps in that kind of area.
Yeah,
somewhat. Yeah.
Well, it's changing what people accept from these mediums, because that's a send up almost of the genre, and you can't do that unless people know a lot about the genre. So it's like showing how we're evolving.
Yeah. Because like I don't know, in general, I guess people are more open to like all this fandom stuff, since now everywhere I go, like Target or just like Hot Topic. Well, it started with Hot Topic, but stuff like Target and Walmart are just selling all these Walking Dead or these episodic shows that got really popular now, these Game of Thrones things. Like people are now more open about being into these fandoms, sort of.
I mean, and if you think like the kids who are growing up having this be their popular entertainment, what they'll be like, 20 years from now, and so forth, and how that'll influence things. So I think it will change, but it hasn't gotten to the point where, DreamWorks is preparing an animated adult film every year or something, but we're a lot better than we were before, You know, I think this year specifically and this summer, like I think within the Killing Joke and Sausage Party and Nerdland and getting a major studio kind of shows a huge step forward in the last like 2 months than we were ever before. But there hasn't been anything else. So you know,
I agree.
but it hasn't happened.
I think we're definitely like on the way. I'm curious, and like within the next couple generations, where the people like how it's going to progress further. But I agree. I'm definitely hopeful for like, you know, the way things are going right now for certain.
Yeah, because like also that Goon movie that was supposed to come out, which we never heard anything about it for a while, but like after Deadpool, who's the director of the Goon movie, the CGI animated R-rated Goon movie, like I don't know, the director just came out and said that the project's not dead, and suddenly there was a new opportunity for it, but we haven't heard nothing from it yet. But so that project's still alive, possibly.
That's exciting because the Goon looks like it would be a really good movie.
Yeah.
I would love to still see that someday. That trailer looked really cool.
991 Yu-Gi-Oh! Why don't you do top 10s more often? People tend to search up top 10s and top 5s. You would get more viewers and subscribers that way.
Wow,
sometimes it's not everything. Yu-Gi-Oh! 9999.
Is this person your manager? They should find a better way to communicate with you.
Question: why don't you sell out?
I mean,
that was his manager.
I mean, they should. There's this really great channel called Watch Mojo. I don't know if they've checked it out.
Yeah, you know, I want to do more besides just doing top 10s every single time. You know, I have more.
I don't even think it's so much selling out. It's like if you don't want, if there's a type of content. Look, if you really want to go all out, I mean, just fucking start a Let's Play channel. If it's all about just getting more views.
It's not selling out if you buy in. Remember that. Did you ever see SLC Punk? That's my favorite line in that whole movie.
I was watching SLC Punk, and I was like, oh, that's where Jim got that line from.
Oh yeah. I love SLC Punk. That line's so great because he says like, remember that, and he like his son walks away, and it's like that's my favorite line in that movie. But actually, yeah, this is kind of random, but that video you did about best adult animated movie, I forget, with El Super Bisto. Mm-hmm. I actually saw that in theaters.
What? That aired in? Oh, I guess it played in theaters for like limited.
It played only at midnight on this one, like a Fathom Events thing or something. I don't think Fathom was around, but it was like a one showing, but it was nationwide. And I showed up, and it was like me and only other animators I knew. So they're like 4 people, but none of us knew we were going to be there, but we all knew each other. So it was like a really cool experience.
Oh, that's funny.
None of us it was like, because we all came in like kind of when the lights were out and the lights went on, we're like, oh, hey. And hey, it was like, but I had fun with it, but I know it's like more remembered now for being on Netflix on DVD, but that was, yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Destiny that brought you all together.
Yeah, it was funny because I even asked all these people, like, do you want to come with me? And everyone was like, no, not really. And like, I was like,
you guys want to go on a quest to save the world?
You want to see a midnight movie by Rob Zombie that no one's going to remember and like ever?
Yeah, I don't understand where that movie came from. It just like appeared and it was just here and that's it. And I can't find any behind the scenes info on it.
I think it was just like a cult movie. Like when they tried to, there was that late 2000s thing where they're like, what if we purposely make movies to be cult movies, and like none of them worked out to be that. Like, you know, like Snakes on a Plane was the first, and then that Drive Angry movie and
Repo, I think.
Repo I think became more of that, but that's because it wasn't by a major studio. Like these were studios made them to be that, and that was why, which is weird because you can't make a movie be a cult movie. It just organically happens, so it was such a weird idea. And then they kind of like Machete and the Grindhouse thing, although that kind of worked, but I think by Machete Kills it was like, wow, this is over. And then it morphed into Sharknado, I guess, on TV.
Sharknado I think is more of that. Machete I think was a little bit more than just cult status, but
well, it's made to be a cult movie, is what I'm saying. Like on purpose.
Well, it was started from the Grindhouse, those Grindhouse double feature movies.
Those were made to be that also.
Yeah.
Or like Hobo with a Shotgun's another one.
Oh yeah, that was just like someone's fan film that won a contest, I believe.
Yeah, it won a contest for the movie. for a teaser trailer to be in the Grindhouse movie. And certain theaters, they'd play a fan-made trailer within the Grindhouse presentation. And so Hobo with the Shotgun won, and then I don't remember this very well, but I think they crowdfunded or something like that. They were able to make enough money to get Rutger Hauer and make it. And I reviewed it forever ago, but I don't remember Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah, but next question, Sally Skeleton. Do you guys like Overwatch? If you do, who's your favorite character and who's your least favorite?
I have not played it, but I like the characters. My favorite is probably May, and my least favorite is McCree because Xander Mobus constantly does the high noon quote and every single variation of, and I want to murder him for it. So Xander, if you're listening, I'm coming for you.
The Smash Brothers voice actor guy?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I met him at PopCon too. He's really sweet.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Piece of shit. I'll kill him.
All right. I was gonna say, I would
kidding, Xander, if you hear this.
I would jump on the. I don't play it, but I really do like the character designs. And if they made like a series or web series or even an actual TV show, I would definitely watch it by the designs alone.
Yeah.
I like the Butt Girl. Tracer, I think is her name.
There's more to her than being Butt Girl.
That's
they all got butts. The guys and the gals, they all got butts.
Mainstream. Speaking of good butts, Roadhog, excellent, A+ character. I love him. What?
Well, of course, Diva.
What?
Nolan wants to fuck the pig man.
What the fuck does that imply? What are you implying?
I don't know. No one knows what to imply.
The fetish fetish episode was last week. Move on.
Diva.
Yeah, stop trying to drop eggs on this.
Yeah, you'll have egg on your face.
Oh, I don't want to be part of this.
No, so we just messed up this diaper.
Diva.
What about you, Jim? Are you a champion at Overwatch?
Oh yeah. My favorite character's the pig also, maybe.
Cool.
Jim hasn't played a video game that isn't Turtles in Time.
No, I don't play video games that much. I mean,
Jim,
if you want to
do a let's play where we both play Turtles in Time.
But then you'd be like, I'm sure I would get worried. I would not be as good as you are. I'm sure you're much better at video games than me. Because anytime I play Turtles in Time at the barcade here, it's like an arcade bar thing. But I'll play it for too long and people will look at me like, all right, guy. I feel it's like you're having a great time, but like for real, like, you know, we can tell you're a tourist, you know.
Get out of our barcade.
I mean, I was happy. I like Streets of Rage and stuff, but I don't think I'm like good at them at all. So.
Yeah, a lot of the Konami games in the 90s I loved. Any sort of arcade game like Sunset Riders, that's also a good one.
I remember when Konami made video games.
I remember.
Next question.
Yeah, but I guess none of us has played Overwatch at all. None of us.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, I got no time for modern video games, but I just want to say
you could say I've underwatched it.
Diva, I want to stick.
You get one clap for that. Just one.
Hang on, I got something to say. Diva, I want to stick my D in her va.
Next question.
Yes. Oh boy. Let's see. Next question. Jack Strips SL. Question. Can you ever recollect an episode of a cartoon that has a moral but is utterly contradicted by bad writing, bad storytelling, etc.?
Wizards Only Fools.
Wizards.
I hate that episode.
What
that was from Adventure Time.
Oh, right. That was the one where it said, fuck your religion, fuck you. Was that it?
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question? Because I want to answer, but I want to make sure I fully understand it.
Can you recollect an episode of a cartoon that has a moral, but it's contradicted by bad writing or storytelling? Like it's a moral that's told poorly?
Yes. Okay, I have one example that springs to mind. It's not an episode, it's a movie. And it also has to do with adaptation. I've talked a little bit about this before. So y'all have seen, or I'm assuming probably most of you have seen Pokemon, the first movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Pokemon the first movie, and this is coming from a guy who works on dubs. I'm generally not like this. That is a completely different movie in Japanese.
Yeah.
And there are a few particular reasons why, but one major reason is because there's a part, if you might remember this, it's close to the end when the clone Pokemon are fighting the real ones. They're the original ones, that is. And Nurse Joy or somebody is like, Pokemon aren't meant to fight, not like this. And I'm like, excuse me, no, you can't go through an entire show where the whole point is about the spirit of competition and them battling each other and it's okay, and then be like, they're not meant to fight, not like this. Like, fuck you. Like, that particular part of the English version of the movie pissed me off, because looking back at that, it's like, no, that completely contradicts everything about
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
No, it
completely fucking does. It really does.
The line is, they're not meant to fight like this.
It's like
Like
okay, so where do you make that discernment, guys? Oh, because
they didn't have abilities or powers. They're literally just
which also, by the way, was a dub only thing. That's not what happened. The whole thing where I'm using my psychic powers to block their abilities was a dub only thing.
So
that was not.
Why were any of them using their abilities in the source footage?
I don't know, but the whole thing was that the people that were writing the adaptation for that movie were like, we don't like the moral of this movie, and we don't like the fact that it's about Mewtwo and Ash happens to be in it, so we're going to change the entire theme of it because we think that this is going to make more sense to an American audience, because I guess we can't be a little bit more lofty or in depth about the fucking story of this. And it may not seem like it's a whole lot, but like these little subtle changes that were made to particular parts like that, when I look back on it, it's like, wow, that really kind of fucks with the whole, because the whole thing is that movie is about Mewtwo. That movie is supposed to be about like this character who's like angry at the world and like trying to figure himself out and not knowing like what he is or what his place is or anything, and taking his anger out on everybody else. You know, that's kind of the whole deal behind it. And they made it more into Ash and company fight a big evil Pokemon, and then he changes his mind at the last second because I guess whatever. And granted, I also understand, okay, clearly they thought, well, this is how we're going to be able to market this to the most broad appeal audience ever. At least that's what we think it is. But when I look at that, I'm like, because Pokemon gets a lot of shit for like, oh, it's whatever, it's not a real show or it's not a real story or whatever. But I don't know, I feel that there was a lot more to that movie as it was originally, and there was some of it that were just kind of like stripped out. And I feel that those changes contradicted the point of what was like set about that film originally. And so I didn't like that kind of like I guess what's the word? It lifted the wool over my eyes, I guess, in terms of my perception of the English version of it or whatever. But I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that's my long-winded answer.
Damn. What was the question? Oh yeah, it was the morals. But like, yeah, because originally the Pokemon the first movie, there were chunks cut out, like Mewtwo's humongous backstory that they just snip through essentially.
They did put it in the DVD of
that was a later that part that you're talking about. I actually thought that for a long time. Apparently that was on like a later version of like a director's cut or something. But to be fair, either way, the intro sequence about Mewtwo coming into existence, like that was more to set the tone of this is a movie about this character, and the characters from the show happen to be in it and they interact with him and they change him ultimately, but it's not supposed to be a movie about Ash and company fighting an evil Pokemon and whatever kind of thing. But it was kind of like adjusted. I don't know, whatever. I've gone on for like 30 years about it. Anyway, somebody else answer.
But what's funny is that if you remember, after they learned the moral about, like, hey, they shouldn't fight this brutally, at the end, Mewtwo wipes out their memories, and nobody remembers the moral, so they're just going to go back to fighting brutally, or, I guess, or whatever.
Well, that's what that also...
Now it works.
Again, the fighting thing wasn't what it was about at all. And not to mention, it's more so, I think, what the audience takes away from that part, if anything, because it's more... And Mewtwo as well, not Ash and company for remembering whatever it is, so, Anyway.
Did you guys see the sequel movie where Mewtwo got a divorce from Mew and lives with his clone children on an island?
The direct-to-video.
I saw Mew versus Mewtwo. It was just about the divorce, and Mewtwo hangs out with the kid, and you start like really you're like, maybe Mewtwo's not such a bad father, and then
Excuse me.
and then Mew.
Mom.
And then Mew shows up just at the divorce hearing, and you're like, I know this movie's a little sexist, but I'm taking Mewtwo's side anyway, and you feel bad about that. But Mewtwo really grew as a father throughout the film,
You're
and you're
fucking
just like,
implicating.
What about the scene? What about the scene where they're in the bar and Mewtwo throws the beer against the wall and Mew's all scared, and I just did Kramer versus Kramer. Let's move on.
Mewtwo just goes on top of a roof and he just says, "I really am a monster" while it's raining.
I wish someone would remake the trailer for Kramer vs. Kramer with Mewtwo and Mew.
I don't know what Kramer versus Kramer is.
It's a movie about divorce.
I've heard of. I know it's a movie that I heard the title before, but in my head, I just keep picturing it as being a Seinfeld episode.
I mean, it's a way better movie than Batman v Superman. I can say that.
Everything is.
Hold on a minute. How the fuck does Batman versus Superman even factor into like
Kramer v. Kramer? Batman v Superman?
Yeah, that's what I was.
The V for vagina?
Yeah. Anyway, next question.
Yeah,
but could have fucking said anything. It could have been like, this is better than a Will Ferrell movie. I don't know.
That's not how Jim's humor works.
I know.
Bro. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Izzy.
I don't even know.
But going back to the question, like I didn't answer mine, but the moral, a moral being taught with bad writing. Of course, the Powerpuff Girls reboot. Well, we've ruined that enough. Like
I haven't seen any of it, so I can't even.
Yeah. We have to be really careful. We've talked enough about it. There might be another 20-minute Nero's Q video in our future.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, like people are asking like, hey, are you ever gonna do the part 2 of the Powerpuff Girls reboot review? And I'm just like, I don't care. Who cares about that reboot anymore? You know?
Yeah, it's kind of like we all already shat on it. Let's just like let it die.
It's been fucked already. Like it's over. We fucked it. Where would you fuck it? Right there.
Well, I mean, what was there an episode where like it fit what the question is asking about?
Oh, well, there was this one infamous unicorn episode.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, everything's a mess.
Hey, I'm a unicorn. My horn's not on my head.
Too bad you don't exist, Izzy, apparently. You're just a unicorn. Go back to your Lisa Frank novels or whatever.
Hey, don't be talking about our Lord and Savior, Lisa Frank.
I mean, Lisa Frank school supply.
Our Technicolor rainbow. Jesus.
Tone it down, asshole.
Oh, God almighty. Oh,
all right, since it's Halloween, Pigpen077 question: what is your favorite so bad it's good horror movie? I know you don't give a shit, but my favorite is Jason X. That film's a blast.
Actually, I love Jason X. Jason X is really funny because it is actually, we were talking about the movies made to be cult movies, like made to be bad. Jason X was like 10 years before that was acceptable, so everyone gave it like terrible reviews, but it's a joke, like Jason in space, like that's ridiculous, and it's so fun. It's one of my, it's a Friday the 13th movie I look back on fondly because it's like it is a lot of fun. Jason X is awesome. It's a so bad it's good movie, but it was made to be that, and it's excellent at it.
But
I'm trying to think. I admittedly I don't watch a whole lot of horror movies because I'm a
pussy.
I'm a scaredy cat. I didn't want to do that, but thanks. I'm gonna say Scary Godmother.
Fuck you. That's not
scary. Scary Godmother's just good.
My answer.
Or is Cartoon Network playing it this year?
We don't know, but we have a friend going to commit suicide if it don't.
Oh man, yeah, we're just like
a suicide pact.
Like, please, like Cartoon Network, you got to play Scary Godmother 1 and 2 this year. You have to. I don't know if they play.
Are there two? Are there two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
On the second one, all of Jimmy's friends, the big brother, like they turn on him, and they're friends with the girl now.
All I know is that it has a kid voice actor that I really liked when I was younger because he was in Mega Man, and I was like, oh, cool, I want to be like him someday. That was like one of the last things he did. I
want to hear what Jim was going to say. Jim,
I was wondering. I was hoping maybe the Splat would play Crybaby Lane this year.
That lost film that nobody cared about.
I know, what is that? Remind me. I don't.
Well, basically, here's the whole story of why people cared and why they don't. Is there was basically this rumor that there was a movie Crybaby Lane, and it got played once on Nickelodeon and then never again because it was too scary. That was the rumor. But basically what happened is it played once and Nickelodeon was like, I don't know, who cares about this movie? So we'll never play it again. And there was like this whole theory on Reddit that all this had happened. So then, because there was all this big deal about it, they played it on whatever the pre-Splat version, I guess it's called pre-Splat.
I think it's called premature Splat.
Oh, premature, which could still get you pregnant. But anyway, so
it's orange.
But they played on there and it was like this big deal. But then after it played, everyone went, "Wait a minute, this is actually less scary than most Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes?" And it's honestly not that great. But the only thing that's cool about it is I think Tom Waits is in it or something. That's like the only cool thing about it. And then after it played, everyone went, "I think you made that thing up," because Nickelodeon even said, "We never banned it. We don't know where that came from." And my personal theory is that somebody taped it when it aired, liked it too much, made up a theory, and everyone bought it because it sounded fine. And so we all had to live in this like bizarre world where it was a banned movie, but it was never banned. There's a difference between being banned and apathy.
Yeah.
And between those things is Crybaby Lane.
What was that other one? It might have been Nickelodeon. I can't remember. It was like The Haunting Hour.
Oh, that's on Cartoon Network.
It was Cartoon Network. Oh, that's right. Yeah, and what the hell was it? Was it Hilary Duff? I think was the chick in that.
Emily Osment.
Okay. Yeah, and then fucking
she played a goth.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. Jim Gaffigan had like a little 2-second cameo in that, and I was like, what the fuck? What's Jim Gaffigan doing in this?
She plays a poor goth that got bullied, and she goes home to listen to her 2002 iPod and listen to some like stock emo band that they got off like freemusicarchive.com or something.
Oh, they couldn't get Skinny Puppy or anything?
No, that's too obscure for them.
Skinny Puppy's cool, man. Come on.
That's not on freemusicarchive.org. They can't use that.
Oh,
so excuse me. I had to burp. I hope you don't mind. I was just so disgusted by thinking about The Haunting Hour. Anybody else? Anybody got any other ones?
Wait. What's wrong with The Haunting Hour?
That was that weird time when Cartoon Network was playing live action stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It all started with
we dodged a bullet at that time.
And also it was by R.L. Stine, but it was not under the Goosebumps license, no.
No, yeah.
I bought the DVD of The Haunting Hour, and I still have the Papa John's coupon.
Yay.
I never used it.
Does it still good?
It expired the year of the movie release.
Wow.
You know what? Bring it in and see if they'll let you use it.
You might get lucky. The cashier might be a big fan of The Haunting Hour.
Yeah, they might be like,
I remember this shit. That was on Cartoon Network.
Or they might be a big fan of you. They might just be like, "Oh, dude, fuck it, yeah, here you go, here's a free pizza."
They'll be like, I'll give you an extra garlic sauce.
No. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I was a fan too," and they pull out their dusty, ribbled up coupon that they got from their DVD as well.
Yeah. And then it's like that one scene in the potato salad skit from Oni where they're like slowly putting the pieces together. And then they just go past it. Yeah, look, it's me right there.
and then they touch your pee-pee.
Yeah.
What?
You know, that's end goals in life. Honestly, I'm so lonely. If somebody please touch it.
Hey,
that happens sometimes.
Hey.
If it's in the back of a Papa John's, that's the most magical place.
Papa John's could be your daddy.
That's what my fifth grade teacher said.
Hey, Pan, my favorite Dragon Ball GT character, Pan. What's the next question?
Fuck. Oh, man. Well, I guess...
You never gotten that one before.
Damn. Well, actually, no, surprisingly.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
now we will get it next time.
I mean, it's Dragon Ball GT, so you know why.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, the best one.
Okay, second to last question.
Boot 'em.
Jadin K. Question. What is your favorite DVD/Blu-ray special feature?
Audio commentary.
Of course, yes. Always audio commentaries.
Yeah, always.
I won't buy a DVD unless it has commentary on it.
Or if it's a Disney movie, a children's game that I'll never play unless I'm drunk.
Oh yeah, like
on the CD-ROM that you can't run properly.
The early days of DVDs when everyone was like, "Oh yeah, cool. It has bonus features and a shitty game inside." Like the Shrek DVD that was my first DVD, and that had all these cool features and a bunch of useless crap.
That had one disc that's for kids and one disc for adults, where you get Shrek After Dark and stuff.
Wait. What's everyone's first DVDs?
My first one was Dogma, the special edition.
Jesus. I want to say probably a Dragon Ball Z DVD, like one of the 3-episode ones, probably.
How about you, Nolan?
I do not know, but what I was going to say... Wait, fuck it, I lost it. Never mind. Fuck it.
Damn,
sorry, I Shrek'd it up.
DVDs, I remember, maybe it was the early DVDs, or maybe our DVDs was shit, because, we had this one DVD that would always, stop working after, 30 minutes of playing a movie or something. It would just keep skipping and whatever. I
had a Thomas the Tank Engine VHS tape that did that, too.
Oh.
By the way, my first DVD was Little Nicky.
Little Nicky.
Wow, no one remembers that Adam Sandler movie.
I try not to remember that Adam Sandler movie.
It had a Game Boy game, at least, for some reason.
I also I also agree with commentaries, and also in rare cases when you get stuff like Pixar where they do they go all the fuck out on little mini documentaries about different aspects of making. Those are awesome, but those are very few and far between that we get those. So
I love those too, but I'm gonna raise you guys commentaries and bring up in character commentaries and bonus features like bloopers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
No, screw those. I mean, I like those, but I bought Space Jam, the 2-disc set version of it.
Oh my god! Oh, I'm so glad. Holy shit!
I bought the 2-disc set because it came with commentary with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. It's lies. It's just Billy West.
Oh.
I have this, please. Okay, what I fucking love about that commentary is not only is it Billy West and D. Bradley Baker being fucking hilarious, and also only halfway in character for the entire commentary. Every so often, there will be a part. It's half them commentating, and then it's half. They'll cut in a part where the fucking, I guess the live action director, I forget his name, comes in, and it'll just be this awkward silence and footsteps, and they'll be like, yeah, blah, 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 we're voice actors, and we're talking enthusiastically about how cool this movie was, and it was great to work on it.
So actually, during this part, originally we were going to have very animation true to the original Warner Brothers style, but then I decided that I wanted to fuck the entire thing up and have all the Looney Tunes characters not be funny at all, so we decided to read the entire thing.
Yeah, so anyway, Doc, blah, 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 in character joke or whatever, and I'm like, I can't believe this is a real thing that they marketed as special feature.
Holy shit, you set that up all the way through.
Totally. I watched that in college because my school library had the DVD. I was like, I've never heard a commentary for Space Jam. Cool. Oh, it's got Billy West and D. Bradley Baker. That's awesome. Then I listened to it. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
I was just more upset that it lied to me because on the packaging it says commentary by Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Thank you with that.
This reminds me, I remember I bought Pokemon Forever, the movie, and
that's commentary. I love that.
Oh yeah, there was commentary, but I think I don't know if maybe there was something wrong with my DVD, but I watched the commentary and a third into the film, the voice actors, the people commentating just decided to leave or just stopped talking and just gave up.
What happened was that the producer and director, when it was 4 kids at the time, they did commentaries by themselves for the first and third movies, and it was just the two of them, and they did it for the entire movie front to back. Mm-hmm. The one for Pokemon Forever was recorded separately and not while they were watching the movie. I don't know why exactly, but I think it's because on that one, they had half the cast of the show in there with them, which was cool. But for some reason, it was just, let's just record it and go for however long we feel like going for, and hopefully it will be the length of the movie, and then it just runs out after a while.
Oh, that explains it. I thought maybe for years, I saw that once, and for years I was thinking did something happen to my DVD, or was that how it was recorded? And they just didn't even finish the full thing. Fuck them.
Actually, I'll even say to anybody out there, if you can find on Amazon or something, the original DVD of Pokemon Forever, get that. And also that is one of my favorite Pokemon movies as well. It's a really good one. But also the commentary on that one is really cool and has a lot of interesting stuff about how their process worked. And it has the late great Maddie Blaustein, who was the voice of Meowth for 7 years on the show, on it, and she is hysterical on it. She just cracks all these great goofy jokes in between everybody serious
She's a
talk.
transgender voice actress, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
Wasn't
Yes,
she the transgender voice actress that also did Dr. K on One Piece?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and tons of other stuff. Yeah, she was amazing. And 4Kids is actually very openly like supportive of that as well, which I was very happy about.
No, Dr. K on Cubics, Robots for Everyone.
on Cubics and on One Piece. Dr.
Yeah,
Rean.
There was two Dr. K's.
Layla? Oh yeah. It was Layla, right?
She's called Dr. Kureha, and Dr. Rean is her nickname. But in the dub, they were like, "Haha, we're being clever and referencing Cubics. Let's call her Dr. K." LOL.
That's a reference to ourselves.
I love Dr. Kureha so much.
Yeah, she's
Dr.
awesome.
Kureha's great.
Chopper's one of my favorite characters of One Piece.
Yeah. Cool. Best.
Did anyone ever watch Cubics, Robots for Everyone?
Unfortunately.
Well, I loved that show when I was younger. Like, I had the toys and the robot stuff, and people always ask me in the videos, like, "What's that robot from?" Like, I have this toy in the background of my videos sometimes, and I have to point out it's Cubics, Robots for Everyone, about this transforming robot.
Do you remember?
I remember I did try like. Because there was a time where I was obsessed with collecting the McDonald's toys that all like linked together. If you got all of them.
Oh God, you're going the same direction I was, because I was gonna say Burger King had the toys, and you had to get all of them to collect the Cubics figure.
Yeah. And I remember I think I only got like 3 or 4 of the parts, and then they stopped, and I was like, God damn it, I don't even like Cubics that much. Why did I do this?
Yeah, because the Burger King toys, it came with like a random robot and a body part of Cubics, like the left arm or the right arm or whatever, and you had to assemble it like Exodia.
Yeah.
But
obliterate.
Yes.
Quick side tangent on McDonald's toys, though. I remember when Inspector Gadget came out, and I wanted the full Inspector Gadget toy.
Yes.
And I remember seeing it at some kid's house, and I'm like treating it like the holy fucking grail of toys. And in reality, it was probably gross and like made of cheap plastic. Probably had lead paint and some shit.
All were. Yeah. The only two of those toys I ever completed were the Bionicles, because they sold the villagers of the 6 different elemental like villages or whatever from Bionicle like Generation 1. And then I had to go on eBay to find some of them later. And then the other one was when Disney's Tarzan came out, they had this like giant like jungle like island thing that was almost kind of like a mousetrap like pulley system thing. And if you got all the pieces, you connected it together. And like this looks like a cool like world map from like a Mario game or some shit. I won it. And then I think I collected all the pieces of that somehow.
But yeah, I remember that Inspector Gadget one. It was just like the body parts of Inspector Gadget, who was ripped apart apparently and packaged in separate McDonald's toys. It's just gruesome, but it was based off the live action movie.
Yeah, so he had the Matthew Broderick ass fucking realistic face.
God, I recall the face looking very awkward looking. I'll make it the podcast thumbnail if it looks stupid enough.
Jumping back to the DVD commentaries, I think it was in character, but like I got really angry because I didn't get that it was a joke the first time I saw it. But Dodgeball's commentary, there's one of the DVDs has it with it's Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn. They argue the entire time, and then eventually they just walk out of the commentary, and then they change the commentary to a different movie.
What?
Yeah, like they just cut to a different movie's commentary track.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually kind of funny.
It is in retrospect, but at first I was super pissed because I fucking love Dodgeball, and I love commentaries, and that was the commentary I got, and I was like, no, this is stupid. I hate it.
That's kind of meta. I like that idea.
And the Pokemon ones, I think it was it might have been Pokemon Forever. All I remember is there's like a Johto. No, it was the second one, I think. Where which Pokemon movie is it where Ash is battling someone that has the purple Pokemon, the purple monkey with the tail?
Oh, Apom. That was the third one. That was Pokemon. That was Pokemon Tower of the Unknown, I believe.
Okay. So in that commentary, I remember like the two guys talking about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I guess it's the season of tails." Because like every weird Pokemon in that battle had weird tails.
Yeah. That was the original producer, and then like one of the early like director and writers for the dub, and he voiced like half the Pokemon back, and then he did like Psyduck and Charmander and a bunch of. No, my fucking favorite thing. There's a joke in the earlier one, the Pokemon Forever commentary, where the director writer guy. Michael Hagney, his name was. So he was talking about when they were recording the show, right? And they got like, I think the first like 52 episodes, whatever it was, everything up until the Exeggutor one. And he was talking about how they did the episode with Charmander. And back then he was like, he was talking about how he used to just jump in the booth and voice a bunch of the Pokemon creatures because they were like, oh, they're probably only going to be in this one episode. And like, you know, I'll just do it myself or whatever. So he voiced Charmander. And he was like, oh, and then Charmander showed up in the next episode. And I was like, oh, maybe Charmander was in like a 2-parter or something. And then it was Charmander for like 77 episodes or something. So we never really knew when a Pokemon was going to be in a lot of episodes or just a couple episodes. To which I'm like, he catches him at the end of the fucking episode. How could you not know he was going to be back later? Are you fucking serious? Like,
it's the main 3 Pokemon starters.
I mean, they might have.
Because I was like, I just assumed with what I was learning about how anime worked, like for dubbing, I just assumed like, well, you must have watched all the episodes and like knew like, you know, at least like, how long it was going to be going for and where it was heading or whatever. But I don't know. I just saw that and I was like, that was a little bizarre that you like somehow didn't catch. And that's the reason why Charmander sounds like Char, because he was just like, he's just gonna be in this one episode. Fuck it, I'll just do a little like Elmo voice or something.
And that's the origin of Charmander's voice in the English dub.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway, we've talked a lot about the Pokemon movies today.
You are to what every other guest is for Sonic.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, we usually hit it off with Sonic the Hedgehog conversations with other guests, but Pokemon is what really sets us off.
Pokemon makes me generally less bummed out, so.
You don't like the Sonic?
Going back to Pokemon, the 4th movie, Pokemon Forever, I hated the bad guy because he looks so lame. Like, he had these weird bicycle shorts. I don't know why. I mean, do you guys remember the bad guy in Pokemon Forever?
The eye mask guy.
This guy with a helmet, and he had like this horrible CGI wood creature.
Oh yeah, Celebi turns into like a giant monster with like branches and shit all over. And
shitty CGI.
I really do like that. I do like that movie though a lot. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of wondering like why isn't this in theaters and why is it just going straight to video?
It was one of the last ones in theaters at the time.
But I think it was limited release.
Yeah.
Probably compared to the other ones, it was limited, but I did see it in theaters definitely.
Yeah,
I saw the 5th one at the fucking Tribeca Film Festival in New York one time.
A film festival for Pokemon.
Yeah. Kind of cool. It was just a film festival, and they happened to have it playing there because that was the newest one out at the time.
Oh, that would have been much better. A film festival for just nothing but Pokemon fan films. I would have been told down.
Well, I was thinking
just fucking go on NewGrounds or YouTube. You'll find plenty of Pokemon fan films.
Not with the audience together.
Yeah, but
it's an experience.
But I just in general, like, I don't know, when you think a film festival, you think high quality, pretentious films, and you just have Pokemon here.
Not necessarily. Like, film festivals actually have a lot of really cool stuff at it.
Yeah.
Yes, I really like this.
Also, the one that they showed there, the 5th Pokemon movie was the one where it took place in like an area that kind of looked like Venice.
Oh yeah.
And it was really beautiful, and so I actually kind of fit in there pretty well because it was really stunning animation for that one.
Yeah, those 2 Mewtwo-looking things. Was it the blue and red one?
Oh,
I mean not Mewtwo.
Yeah, they were kind of Lugia. Yeah. I like that one a lot. That's one of my favorites too.
Yeah. But yeah, like when I saw that Pokemon DVD in the shelves, like it wasn't in theaters, like Pokemon Forever, I was just thinking like, oh no, this isn't in theaters anymore. Is Pokemon dying? Is the popularity of Pokemon going down?
Never die, no matter what you do.
20 years later, I guess. So I don't know how long it's been, but I guess that's not true. It's still here and it's never going away. Ever.
No. More than ever.
No. Pokemon is safe. I mean, like, people were saying that Yokai Watch is gonna kill Pokemon. You just wait.
Nope. No. Not so much.
I don't think so. I mean, like, Yokai Watch is here, but it's not really doing much.
It doesn't have the level of popularity it has in Japan.
It doesn't have the universal appeal that Pokemon does. Because Pokemon's literally just animals with fucking elemental powers.
Yeah.
Yokai is, like, it's very, like, cemented in, like, Japanese culture.
Yeah.
I know they waited until the sequel where they involved the U.S. to bring it here in hopes that would help, but like I don't know. In retrospect, if it was the 90s, it would have been called Ghost Watch here, which is a way cooler punny name.
That's a nice title.
Yeah, but no, it's Gokai, and I think it doesn't have as much of a sting as, like, say, Pokemon or anything.
I mean, if they brought it back in the 90s, they would have, like, a knockoff version of the Ghostbusters theme song.
Have you heard the actual dub theme song for Yokai Watch?
Yes, it's a rap. Oh,
because we're still just not past that yet, everybody.
No.
Apparently not.
No,
Swear to
Smurfs
God.
movie using rap music, it's just terrible.
I just figure like after the Dragon Ball GT rap and the One Piece rap, I figured that all companies across the world would have fucking gathered that people don't take that shit seriously.
Okay, first of all, the One Piece rap is one of the greatest raps known to man.
No, it's hilarious. But in terms of like actually it being a legit theme song, it's just like, guys, nobody fucking wants this.
Everyone wants it. No one knew they wanted it.
Apparently the kids wanted, possibly.
No.
I don't know. I always wanted to like interview kids, like see what are they into? Like, do they like this rap stuff in cartoons? Do they think it's the greatest shit ever?
In my life, I have only ever once met one kid at New York Comic Con. I remember that when Funimation took over One Piece and they started redoing it and making it not a fucking joke. There was this one kid that was like, I'm so upset about how One Piece got redone now. They never should have changed it. I'm just like, you poor stupid child. You have no idea.
How old is
To be fair, at that time, it wasn't as big like to research stuff. And there was a lot of people who were actually upset about the voice changes. And
not for One Piece. Not for One Piece.
No. Like, yes, you, me, and everyone else that was mature enough to read the manga and like actually care about it, like the source material. Yeah, we were excited about it changing, but there was a group of people, some that aren't as deep weeaboos, that were like, I don't like these changes. I don't like the voice cast. They're not the characters that they got familiar with.
I mean, like Dragon Ball and Pokemon, I definitely remember that being a big thing with people upset about that for a while. I do not recall anybody except for that one kid I met who was ever upset about the 4Kids dub being changed.
I remember because it happened in, I think, high school for me. And I just remember talking about it with people. And like there was like one girl that was like a teacher's aide being like, oh, yeah, I really like that show. But they changed the stuff. I don't like it as much. It's not as cute.
Honestly, most people I knew who were what you're talking about, like people who were just like kind of mainstream folks, like that weren't big into anime, that saw that version of the show were just like, man, One Piece is fucking annoying and loud and everybody screams all the time.
I will agree with you that like the 4Kids dub totally ruined any chances of One Piece being a mainstream hit here.
Oh,
I wouldn't say that.
It's really made a major comeback in terms of like after all the hardships it's been through, and I feel bad too because I know people that were like in the old dub and they're really nice, and I have like nothing against them because of that because it wasn't their fault. But yeah, I mean, it certainly put a damper on it. But I think all things considered, the fact that like it's still running on Adult Swim and like it's thriving very, very well in the U.S. and like some of the movies have been in like some limited theater releases out here as well. Like I think it's done pretty well for itself, and I'm happy.
I just think it's ever going to be as big as say Dragon Ball Z was, thanks to the One Piece.
Well, but also the fact that Bleach and Naruto are both basically like done more or less, and the fact that DBZ is still existing and One Piece is still existing, that in and of itself kind of says a lot. So
well, I think what happened was like Naruto and One Piece came to America around the same time, and I feel like Naruto became the next big anime here.
Mm-hmm. And it's ironic because you would think that here pirates would do better, while in Japan ninjas would do better, but it was the other way around.
It just kind of hit it at just the right time, more or less. So
yeah. Plus the Naruto dub was actually done kind of competently. So
believe it.
Oh yeah,
it was TV PG on Cartoon Network.
Yeah. And plus that was the Cowboy Bebop voice director who did that show, and she like took really major care of that one. So that would certainly explain that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not as bad as what I think Germany did with the Naruto theme.
12 years ago, a nine-tailed fox suddenly appeared.
If you believe it.
Naruto, believe it.
Here I am with my ninja clan, here we stand. Naruto, I'm on my way. Naruto, I'll be okay.
Okay, he's really cool. Sakura, the beautiful.
Believe it. No.
Hey, what's the final question?
All right, final question. Okay, the panda Ushanka Question: when was NewGrounds funny? Since you're a NewGrounds person and worked on there, like, when was NewGrounds funny?
What I'm talking about? That's like, remember? No, honest to God, there was a lot of really funny shit on NewGrounds, and a lot of those creators like went on to do a lot of other shit after that point.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. I mean, I feel like this is full circle with the opening of the podcast.
It's like, I don't know. I mean, look, here's the thing about NewGrounds. Much like many other, much like TV, much like YouTube, much like probably Netflix to some extent. I don't know. No, actually, I would say, because there's tons of crap on there. When you have a giant venue with lots of content on it, there's going to be a lot of shit that you have to wade through, and mixed in all of the shit is a bunch of good stuff.
Well, they posted and would send out emails of what were the top 5 things every day. And although some of those would be bad, there was a lot of funny stuff. I think it stopped being funny when people started going to other sites.
But
that's when it fell off, really.
I don't know. I heard the phrase 90% of everything is shit.
That's true.
Yeah.
Even for people.
But,
Yeah, I mean, like, you're never going to get, like, 100% great, awesome stuff. And when the site's small enough, or big enough, there's going to be, like, for every 10 pieces, probably going to be 100 bad things. And it just happened that it was small enough that you got to see some of the good stuff right up at the top. Mm-hmm. Something I really wanted to mention, because I'm a nerd, I do own the Tank Man figure that NewGrounds sold for a bit.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I didn't get to actually experience NewGrounds at the time. Like, I watched it like you guys did, but like I didn't like actually animate at the time. And so when I did start, doing YouTube, I joined NewGrounds because I wanted NewGrounds to be a big part, because it is such a huge part of internet culture for animation, at least. And it's more like I don't know if it's ever going to be as big as it once was, and I think a lot of it's due to past reputations of being raunchy and such. That's going to scare advertisers away.
No, I think it's not that, because that's changed. I think it's honestly more so the fact that YouTube has made most other places like that for uploading content like kind of null. So it's more so it's like you just can't beat the because even there was like Blip and stuff like that, and it's like you can't beat the convenience of YouTube. Mm-hmm. So it's more so that than because advertisement and like support wise it was all fine for many years. But
even though it will never be as big as it once was, I still like to hold the history of it. So I made sure to get the Tank Man put on my shelf.
Yeah.
Out of support.
I would want that, or I know they had figures of Alien Hominid, and I really wanted that, but I can't find them anywhere.
They did for a while. Alien Hominid was like their big thing.
Oh yeah.
They just closed their store too, because I mentioned that I had the Tank Man to someone, and like, oh yeah, you can't get those anymore.
Damn.
And that was like only a year ago.
Oh wow.
But to close this off and to answer the question, when was NewGrounds funny? I feel that NewGrounds was funny when we were all 12, living in the suburbs, listening to Dickett Park, watching Dragon Ball Z, drinking Pepsi while playing Halo co-op in the easiest setting, during which we consumed Doritos and looked at paintball guns on eBay on Internet Explorer connected to AOL on 56K modem before hopping onto our balding father's latest midlife crisis impulse-sponsored Japanese-built SUV head to the mall and get more skateboard shoes and third-rate regular Levi's and mountain bike parts before heading home, voting Democrat and masturbating to the latest Sears catalog while huffing paint in your garbage in your garage before bros.
I didn't realize what that set up until just now.
That's a genuine one. That's not a sarcastic one. That's a genuine one.
I didn't make it through.
That was genuinely impressive, Pan. I'm impressed.
Did you just come up with that right now? I want to believe that, but
no, he did, and it's not an ongoing joke.
Oh.
Oh man, like I just asked that question and you guys went on a huge tangent, and I didn't even think about it. I just thought, oh, that's a good way to tie it all together. And then I was like, oh my god, how did I miss that?
Was that even a real question, Pan?
Yeah, was that a real question?
That wasn't a real question, was it?
That was a real question from 3 weeks from like several podcasts ago.
And you've just been saving it?
Yes.
Oh my god. We didn't.
You saved it just for me.
Yeah.
Just for me. Wow.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah.
We can't.
How you planned it.
Yeah, we can't go anywhere else
You all
from there.
fell for that trap. All right, so this is the end of the podcast. I'm Pan Pizza.
Oh, I was Jim.
Nolan.
And I don't know who I am anymore.
Do you have any upcoming projects you want to promote?
Sure. Right now on my YouTube channel, I have a themed month called Voice October, where I'm interviewing various voiceover veterans from the various parts of the U.S. and Canada. And I'm also putting out a few more episodes of my sort of unofficial but blessed spin-off of Did You Know Gaming called Did You Know Voice Acting. I've got a bunch of episodes of that coming out. And on the second week of November, I'm celebrating the 5-year anniversary for Tome with a new short that I was talking about earlier. I'm very excited about that. I'm very proud of how it turned out. So if you want to check me out, go to youtube.com/Kirbopher15. Follow me on Twitter @Kirbopher, other such things, etc.
Links
Do
below.
a Google search. Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yep,
This is really fun. Thanks
Goodbye,
for letting me
pony.
rant and rave about the fucking Pokemon movies for an hour.
Yeah. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Peace out, Emily and Stephanie.
Dear mother, can you hear me whining? It's been 3 whole weeks since I left your home.
This sudden fear has me trembling.
'Cause now it seems that I am out there on my own. And I'm feeling so alone. Pay attention to the cracked streets and broken homes.
Some call it slum, some call it
nice. I want to take you through a wasteland I like to call my home. Welcome to paradise.